Good morning, we are live, Greetings. Happy spring break, everybody. Good morning. Okay, dying to get into this one. So, I was looking, as I always am, I'm researching. And there was something that really took my interest over the past week or so. There is an amazing podcast. I've spoke about this podcast before. Good morning, everybody. I'm trying to see his name. I need stronger glasses. Gustavo, Jamie, what's up? Chiligal, whatever that is. So I am always looking for really good content. What's up, Greg? I'm always looking for content. Always looking for content. And I want to tell you about this podcast, which I have been, good morning everybody, lots of people joining in today, hello! I have been really into. So if you are an entrepreneur, you don't just have to be in real estate, if you have entrepreneurial tendencies, there is a podcast that you absolutely should listen to. The name of that podcast, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, is Masters of Scale with Reid Hoffman. Masters of Scale with Reid Hoffman, and that is a podcast that's really business focused, and you get to hear the giants of various industries talk about their philosophies on doing business. Now, if you are an entrepreneur, and by nature, real estate agents are entrepreneurs, because although we're part of a bigger company, we're still kind of individual businesses, which by definition makes us an entrepreneur, right? So there is a phrase that I took from one of the podcasts with Reid Hoffman, which was from the founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, and I wanted to share it with you because he says it in a slightly different way than I say it, and I'm going to share his phrase and then I'm going to give you my opinion on it. It is the phrase that I named the morning mantra after today, which is move fast and break things. So what on earth does that mean? Move fast and break things. What I can tell you is this. One of the most important facets of me being able to have a successful business or businesses, right? One of the most important facets is I move fast. So it's very instinctual. Now, I don't just go, let's go build ships in China. What I do is I sit down, and I've done this with my wife Cindy for the past over a decade, and I did it before when I was a record producer and all these other industries that I've been involved with. I've said this on the mantra. My education or evidence only gets me 65% of the way. The rest of it, the 35%, which I feel is the hardest 35% of making any decision, especially when it comes to changing direction, is instinct. And then what I have learned to do, and I'm going to say this sentence twice because it's so important, I have learned to never question that first instinct, right? So if I think about, let's think about, should I do a Monday mantra? You know, my first instinct is, well, yeah, I think that'd be a really great idea. I'm sure there'll be some people that would like to tune in and listen. And then what happens is all of the voices begin to come and they begin to say, no, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to see you. They've seen enough of you. Just shut up, sit down, don't do it. You look stupid. People don't care. And what I have learned to do is shut out all of those second voices and listen to the first. So when Mark Zuckerberg refers to move fast and break things, I believe he is talking about one of my other favorite subjects, which is perfection is the death of industry. So many of us are so obsessed with getting everything perfect. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about a listing presentation if you're in real estate, right? Of course, we try and perfect our listing presentation, but there are other strategies such as video, such as you may have a different method to door knocking. You may have XYZ. You may do this. You may do that. What really kind of kills a thought before it matures into a strategy is this, it will never work. It's not perfect. I need to get it right. I just need a few more days on it. I'll get to that. I don't want to push it out right now because it's not perfect. So my thought on this is, if, and I'm going to take my inspiration from other great thought leaders. Seth Godin, if you don't know who Seth Godin is, I suggest you stop watching this right now and Google who Seth Godin is, because Seth Godin came before Tony Robbins, he came before Gary Vaynerchuk, he came after Napoleon Hill, and it's all a very similar mindset. Seth Godin wrote a book called Tribes, which I believe is even more pertinent today than it was when it was first written, because the internet has fractured our potential market share into groups, what I like to call tribes. And he wrote a whole book about it. But another lesson, one of the most important lessons I have ever learned, I learned from Seth Godin, and that lesson was the shipping date. What am I talking about? We don't make lead pipes. The shipping date is this. When you come up with an idea, maybe it's to do a vlog, maybe it's to do some kind of little documentary, maybe it's to write a beautiful piece with photographs, maybe it's to do an audio podcast. Whatever that idea is, you need to mark a date on your calendar and you stick to it through hell and high water. Meaning, if, let's just say, Jerry Marcius is watching. I like Jerry. What's up, Jerry? Let's just say he's considering doing an audio podcast, which I wouldn't be surprised if he is. And I would say this, right, what day is this? The 26th of March. I would say, Javier. I would say, right, Javier, 15th of April, you are going live with your podcast, whether it's perfect or not. The shipping date is April 15th, right? And I do this to myself with all my videos and all my content and everything that we make, and I do it at the company, and all of these various strategies that we deploy. I have a shipping date in place, and what that means is, probably more often than not, nothing ever comes out perfect. But the difference is, it comes out, right? The amount of business owners, not just real estate people, the amount of business owners that I have spoken to that have had all these great ideas and strategies and techniques, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and it never happens, is way, way, way more than hit the shipping date. So when Mark Zuckerberg refers to go fast and break things, you should listen to the podcast. I think it's podcast number 20 on the new series of Masters of Scale. He talks about, very often he would take what he calls a small amount of people, 10,000 to 50,000 to maybe 100,000 people, to push out something experimental on Facebook so that they could get a read on it. Now, I did the same with video. I started pushing video out, right? Really before I knew what I was doing, before it was polished, before it sounded good, before I really knew what a narrative was. I discovered narrative along the way. And now I'd like to think, each video just gets a little bit better, a little bit better, and a little bit better. And that is because I'm not afraid to move fast and not get it right. I'd rather put it out and it be wrong, or I'd rather deploy a strategy and it be wrong, than I would have it never come out at all. So I'm actually going to make the Monday mantra a little bit shorter. I had a couple of people saying, Pete, you were ranting for nearly 20 minutes last week. So I'm going to pull back because I have another great subject. I have another great subject for you. Do I have it in my notes? Let me have a look here. Which is, well, I'll save it for next week, but it's essentially basically balancing profits with conscience. That's what it is. That's exactly it. It is balancing profit with content. So I want to leave you with this today on a condensed Monday mantra. The condensed Monday mantra for today is this: move fast, break things. Meaning, have a crack at it. Screw up. Don't care what people think. Just have a stab. All we have, the only commodity we have, is time. And if I don't try something because I'm afraid of what other people think, I have betrayed myself and taken a withdrawal out of my bank of days which is limited. Don't care what anybody else thinks. Have a stab at it. Have a crack at it. Give it your best shot. You've heard me say this a million times. I would much rather run 1,000 miles an hour into a brick wall than wonder, am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? I would rather go splat into that brick wall at 1,000 miles an hour so that I can go, check, yep, that was a screw up. I'm not going to do that again. And I would head off in a different direction. I'm endlessly looking for directions. So ladies and gentlemen, Monday Mantra is over for today. Thank you very, very, very much for joining me. Please move fast and break things. Go fast and break things, however you want to say it, however you want to think about it. Mwah! Everybody have a killer week. I will look forward to seeing you all again next week on another Monday Mantra. I love starting my week like this. God, I love starting my week like this. I'm super pumped. I feel like I could just go parachuting. Anyway, that's a whole other subject. Until next week, love you all. Speak to you soon.